Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, React and Chill. I'm Dika. So last time on This Is Us, we had it was actually called The Big Day. We had the full flashback episode of the day the triplets were born, the big three were born into this world. We saw everything. We've always seen snippets of this day across the beginning of the season, but now we've got the opportunity to see it from beginning to end. And we'd found out that obviously the twins were due all the way in October, but as we know, they did come early. It was also on the same day of Jack's birthday, and we got to see how Rebecca was absolutely, I think it was pregnancy hormones, ripping into Jack, and trying to get the house finished and the house done. And obviously, while she was looking at the calendar, realised, oh my god, it's his birthday. Meanwhile, we got to also see a bit of a sneak peek into Dr. K's life. Dr. K's been, I was about to call him a reoccurring omen, but not in a bad way. He's been a reoccurring person across the season as well. So Dr. K was one of the major influences as to why Rebecca and Jack had, after they lost one of their triplets, helping them move forward from that point. And essentially when they adopted Randall, but that I'll go into in a second. So Dr. K was still, I wouldn't say, you can say he was still mourning the death of his wife. He still had her clothes. He's not been able to move on. He was essentially still talking to his wife. This is something that his son and his daughter-in-law had picked up on, and they were trying to get him out of that. And obviously there was a bit of an aggressiveness tension between them, because he was trying to get his dad to move on, whereas he was unfortunately still holding on to his wife. We also got to meet Joe. He was the gentleman at the fire department who picked up Randall. So we also got a young William and saw that part when William had dropped a baby Randall at the fire department. And Joe was also, I didn't realise straight away in that episode, Joe, that was also the guy we saw in, I can't remember if it was the first episode or the second episode. He was the guy that was standing next to Jack when he was looking at the three babies, including Randall. So he was at the hospital as well. So Joe picked up Randall first and brought him home to himself and his wife Samantha. Now Samantha was a little bit reluctant, and she was like no, and their relationship had unfortunately strained because they've not been able to have children of their own. So they were going through their own issues, and now Joe had brought a baby home. That same day as it was Jack's birthday, Miguel was trying to get him to go out and enjoy himself, but the only thing Jack was thinking about was coming back home, staying with Rebecca. He was very aware that she was I wouldn't say incredibly pregnant, but she was carrying triplets. And another thing I noted was how everybody in that episode was going on about triplets. They were like almost feeling so bad for Jack for having triplets, but every time Jack brushed it off, didn't care, and we kind of have an inclination as to why that is, because Jack was ready to be the best father he could be to his children, something that his own dad wasn't to him. So that was obviously a really good episode, and it ended when Dr. K finally, after obviously the advice that he'd given Jack, and we saw that scene in the hospital, finally taking his own advice and finally moving forward, where we see the scene he was at the grave of his wife, and finally being able to move forward and eventually move forward with his life, just sort of similar to what he said to Jack. So that was a really good episode, and it was really nice to finally tie in all the ends, everything from Randall being at the fire department, and then what happened in between before that was before Joe finally took him to the hospital, and obviously the day leading up to what happened between Rebecca and Jack. And now here we are with episode 13, 3 sentences. That's so cute.
Okay, get him a dog.
Okay.
Guys, we need to have a meeting. Whoa, what happened to knocking? They want to run birthday parties this year.
Oh.
What? But you guys love sharing a birthday party. You get the 3-layer cake. I want a princess bride party.
Kevin, seriously, you were terrified by that movie.
That's when I was 9. Now that I'm gonna be 10, I love it. Can I have a magician?
Yeah, right?
Okay, I'm in.
Okay, so
Meeting's over. Thank you, everybody.
Does first week of February work for you?
yeah, or
Never?
never at all. I just don't think it's the right time for surgery. At least not now.
Have you ever considered an immersive weight loss experience?
A fat camp.
There's a incredible facility upstate. About what?
What's cooking, good looking? Now, you know, Wednesday.
Of course, he stopped taking the meds. I was thinking.
I feel better than I've felt in months. I feel like sex. I feel like magic. I feel like music. Can you show me how to put my music in this? I already got it. Thanks, son. I'll go get my list.
Oh.
And you? Did you have a good weekend?
Oh yeah, these
Yeah?
two.
Did you hear me?
Oh.
What's no?
No small talk. No pretending like things are good with us. No, okay, we work together. That's it. Let's come in, rehearse the play, get out.
I don't feel bad for him. He brought that upon himself.
This is an incredible opportunity, and I want you to do it for yourself. And Dr. Singh doesn't want me traveling for at least another 2 weeks, so I will just get to know the Big Apple a little bit.
Thank you for being so supportive.
That's what fiancés do.
Oh.
Oh, thank you, fiance.
Let's stop doing that.
Okay, yes.
Want to see me? Yeah. Come in, come in.
Oh.
Randall, do you know Sanjay Jayuri? Only by reputation. Randall Pearson. I at least deserve a shot at this. Sorry. Fair enough. Why don't you both work on a derivative? Get to me by the end of the week.
They're such good parents, like putting together 3 different birthday parties.
What if we had another kid?
Oh, I will go.
But they're not going to be kids much longer.
Oh.
They're 10. That's halfway to adulthood. And they're not going to need us anymore.
Aw.
Hey. Well, I stop up, see where you worked. Man, I haven't been this high since the 90s. It's such a nice day out. I don't know how many of those I got left.
Aw.
Can't argue with that. Have a nice lunch. It's not a full lunch, buddy. Just grabbing a quick bite.
Oh my god.
Where's the gym? Did I miss it, or? Oh no, we have one, of course. It's just not the primary focus of our campus. Oh, hey, can you call Toby? He doesn't know anyone here, and it would just be nice if you could hang out with him.
Are you serious?
I have a boyfriend. Well, actually, fiance.
Well, we'll see.
What the hell was that? We'll see.
Kevin, off the table, please. Off the table.
Hey, listen to your mother, all right? Oh my God, it's Madonna. Wow, Madonna, have you seen my daughter Kate?
I like your clothes. You're okay.
Oh.
I stayed up all night dazzling those kiddos.
Jack,
Yeah.
you get invited to all of their birthday parties.
Because of the rule. They would invite me if it wasn't for the rule. They don't want you to be upset.
Why would we be upset?
Do we look upset?
Come on.
No. It's because he's black. Racist bastards, right? Not emotional.
That's so sweet. Oh, I love that though. How can nobody like Randall? He's actually funny. Oh no, but that's sweet. But at least Randall seems pretty cool. The only thing he wanted, unlike Kate and Kevin, Randall's like, can I just get a magician? And there was Yvette's boys, and obviously there's one other kid, so there's a small handful. But he seemed pretty okay with it being a small handful. So I really like that, and it's kind of sweet. He picked up on his parents getting upset a little bit. So no, that was kind of nice.
This place is incredible. See those 2 women? They look like Westworld hosts.
Not interested.
All right, well, we don't have to stand around and get drunk and flirt with supermodels. We could just talk. Really? Yeah.
Not my friends. I don't care. I have 3 really good friends. That's a lot. And they all came to my party.
Aww. I could definitely see how that reflected on Randall. Like, he's very...
What's going on?
I love the contrast. I think there was a contrast there between Randall and Kevin anyway. Kevin, and we know how he was very particular and needed the affirmation from everyone, whereas Randall was very much like, I don't care if, he was happy with what he had. He was very happy with what he got, and I don't know if that was purely down to him personally knowing that he was adopted, knowing that, you know, the Pearsons had taken him in, so he'd always be happy with, you know, whatever he had, which was enough, and he would build up on that. So, you know, he got into his new school. He wanted to just be enough for them. So that's what I'm thinking. And again, that's a stark contrast to Kevin, who just needed the affirmation, who just needed everybody to like him. But Randall was very good at... Again, I don't know, it's something that's become tenderly bad later on, because he knows he's good at, but I don't know how to explain it, but you could almost see it with how he's very aggressive. Like, he almost feels like if he's got a shot at something, he wants to go for it, and he feels like Sanjay coming in, like with his whole work derivative, whatever he has to do, he would want to take that up alone. He's very protective of what that belongs to him. That makes sense.
One more stop. I need an egg cream.
What's that now?
It's a soda with milk and Fox's chocolate syrup. It's got to have Fox's chocolate syrup. I'll take.
Okay.
Okay, what?
Okay. To having a conversation about it.
Oh.
Seriously?
I know that we can't take credit for his genes, but we raised him. We did that. He's this incredible little person.
I'm good.
It's alright, we're all stuck together.
These people are insane, and I am seriously gonna need you to come and get me right now.
Your voice is annoying my horses.
Well, your horses can deal.
Yeah, well, I can't. Voice is annoying me too.
People trying to change their lives is not a joke.
I won't change. You know it, and I know it. Hey, baby.
Hi.
Why aren't you with all your friends at Kevin's party?
I want to learn how to vote.
What?
Everyone does.
Come on. No, that's not true. No, it's not true. I think that your Donna party is just too cool for most 10-year-olds. I don't know how to vote. Can you show me? Come on, help your dad out. Show me how to vote.
Crack's
I
such a
know
good
you
dad.
can teach me how to vote. Hey, you know what? Let's crack this up.
Dad,
Yeah, baby.
I just kind of want to be alone right now.
Aww.
Two amazing women, and you let them both go.
Yeah, I already know that much. Thank you.
Well, lucky for you, I am the king of romantic grand gestures. Kevin, close your eyes.
What are you gonna do?
Close your eyes. Now I want you to picture the love of your life. One shot, 3 sentences.
Oh.
What are those sentences, and who are you saying them to? There it is.
You got it.
I got it. All right.
Why, William? Why are you not drinking?
It's not the right time yet.
Oh, okay.
I feel like there's like sense of frustration building up.
Pull over right here. Now what? I was hoping to drive your car. Something I always wanted to do before I die. Then you will. Well, the thing is, son, I don't know how to drive. You want me to show you how? I was hoping you would.
Aww.
Yes.
Find that river, guys. What's causing you to move? Huh? Why are you here? Pouting!
Essentially what that guy, I don't know what he was called yet. Oh yeah. All of that stuff through her childhood.
I was head over heels in love with you the moment that I saw you. I never should have let you get away. Like you were my arm, and when I lost you, it was like I lost my arm. You didn't say anything at all?
My ex-husband, who I haven't seen in 12 years, just shows up at my doorstep unannounced.
Wait. They were married? When she said my ex-husband, I thought there was another person there who showed up, but this is him. Oh my god. So clearly he's hung up on this woman, which might explain his string of relationships. I'm pretty sure that could be Sophie. Oh.
Always have to go big, don't you, Pearson?
For you, Sophie. Always.
I knew it was her.
I know what you were doing before with the whole grabbing my phone and being a dick thing. You were being hard on me so I would push myself.
I wasn't being a dick. I am a dick. I'm glad you're staying.
Oh, back up, please.
Because I happen to think that you are as sexy as hell.
Oh, okay.
This is happening.
No, it isn't.
Meg.
Yeah.
I couldn't make Kate feel better.
Aww.
That's like my thing. Can't have another kid right now.
No.
Okay.
I think the three of them are only going to get more difficult.
Oh.
This is a dream come true right here. Thank you so much, Randall. It's my pleasure. Wow.
Oh, yeah. Oh, she is gonna meet up with him. Oh. Yeah, of course, it's also Jack's birthday. Oh. So that was episode 13, 3 sentences. That was a really good episode. It opened up with us seeing a montage of the Pearson family celebrating the birthdays of the triplets and Jack every year up until their 9th birthday. When on their 10th birthday they wanted to have separate birthday parties. Essentially this seemed like an innocent request, but now we kind of know it was requested specifically from Kevin, who essentially just wanted to impress a girl. More on that later. We also see that as they were turning 10, we also see that now that William's no longer on his chemo, nothing's draining his energy, he's got a lot more energy. This is a crazy contrast to him wanting to enjoy his life. He even mentions to Randall, you know, I got this iPod, could you put some music on it? Randall is kind of in a rush. He doesn't even eat breakfast. He, you know, tries to get to work, and then you can see the sorts of tensions and stuff that are happening in work. That sort of almost siloed in terms of wanting to hit the deal, getting these things done. Almost in contrast with forgetting the sort of smaller things in life that was important, which is almost represented by William when he comes in to spend the afternoon with him. Kate's not also sure about the gastric bypass, and her doctor suggests she goes to a sort of weight loss experience program, like a fat camp. And when she gets there, she starts having her doubts, making fun of the place, calling it a cult, you know, believing that. But the program guide lets her know that this is more of trying to get to the deeper root. And I'm sure I've been saying this a long time, that there is, from what the little bits and pieces we see across the series, there is a deeper root to Kate's weight gain, because we did see that yes, she was a big girl when she was younger, then obviously through her teens she didn't seem like, I would say, the biggest, the chubbiest, but there was definitely a turning point, and now the end of this episode kind of confirmed potentially where that turning point had come from. So she was at this camp, she wasn't essentially liking what they were trying to do, and again they were trying to get underneath the weight, so essentially trying to get to the root of the problem that's causing the excessive weight gain. Just before she was about to leave, there was a guy on the camp who was being incredibly creepy, you know, coming on to Kate, and obviously Kate was like, no, you know, I've got a fiance, I'm not interested. But he did kind of give her some hard truths about this place is dumb, this place is stupid, and essentially called her out because she was going to quit. When Kate did eventually come back and the guy was saying let it all out, you know, we did see certain aspects of Kate's life, you know, when her friends ditched her because she was big, you know, that time at the pool when she was wearing the swimming costume, what happened at the party, always feeling second best to Kevin, even though Randall being their essential brother, Kevin was her twin, so always feeling second best to Kevin. And then we saw glimpses of the triplets at the funeral of Jack's funeral, and I assumed I assumed Jack died when they were maybe in their 20s, but by the looks of it, they were teenagers. Essentially, I don't know if they were mid to late teens, but they look like teenagers. So my theory is potentially Kate's weight gain might have started spiraling from there. She was really close to her dad, and her relationship, we know that her relationship with her dad was much more better than her relationship with her mum. So while she's there, she asks Kevin to kind of hang out with Toby, because Toby has to stay in New York for a couple of weeks, and obviously Kevin is still getting the silent treatment from Salone, rightly so, because he was just being an absolute dick. And while he was talking to Toby was trying to get him to decide on one woman, and he was the king of romantic gestures. And we find out that the woman he chose wasn't even Salone or Olivia. This was somebody else, Sophie. Now Sophie was Kate's best friend back in the past, and she came to a birthday party. So now I'm wondering if essentially they would have definitely known each other while they were growing up, Kevin, Sophie and Kate. So I'm wondering if that ever affected their relationship, the relationship, like Kevin's relationship with Sophie ever kind of ran in or bled through into his relationship with Kate. So that's very interesting, and I liked how they brought that up. And then coming back to Randall at the birthday party, he never had a lot of people. He had a very small, maybe Yvette's kids and one other kid that came to his birthday party. And I did mention how Randall was actually quite happy. He was definitely the most mature out of the other two, out the other Pearson kids. And throughout this all, Jack even mentioned to Rebecca, maybe we should have another baby. And halfway through the party, they did potentially say, we'll have that conversation, we'll think about it. Because Jack was feeling like he was no longer an importance in his kid's life, that they were growing up too fast. Now they weren't going to be doing their usual tradition where they ate cake together and played pin the tail on the donkey. He was starting to feel, I think every parent would feel it when your child's growing up and you feel like they start gaining their own independence. So he was saying that maybe, he wants to feel that again, being able to be depended on again, so wanting to have another baby. And especially seeing how Randall was growing up into such a dependable young man at that age, very mature, and he was happy with having his small group of friends, having his magician. He even mentioned that he was having a good time, he was enjoying himself. They believe that we still raised him even though he doesn't have our genes, we could take care of another baby. But after the I wouldn't say the consequences, but after the result of the party, they decided at the end they weren't going to have kids, any more kids. They said 3 is enough, and they're going to be they're going to be a lot to handle. So sorry, I went on a tangent there. So next to that, going back to Randall, so in present day, he's sort of rushing around. He's got an account that he wants to be able to get the client for, and obviously his boss says, there's this guy Sanjay who's going to this other guy that I don't know if he essentially works in he works in the same company, saying that he's got the experience and he's got the knowledge. But then Randall said, oh no, I want to at least have the opportunity to throw my hat in the ring. So Randall sort of fixated in this and had that sort of fixation. However, that's when William had come in. So I remember that I said before, William was starting to feel better because he was no longer taking chemo, and Randall almost, I wouldn't say he mentioned before he loves his job, but it's almost he was forgetting the most important things. Like, William had come to visit him in the office. He said it's a beautiful day, why not enjoy it? And stating that I may not have much more days of this. And I think being around William, and obviously all Randall could think of is this account, this his work, his job, but having the opportunity to spend time with William, having the opportunity they went shopping, he went and got his perfect milkshake thing, and he even taught William to drive around the car park. It was, I realised that obviously he was young, still like a teenager when he lost when he had lost Jack. And then being able to almost relive some form of fatherly bond again through William was actually kind of nice. Even doing the simple things. And by the end of the episode, when they were driving around and he obviously was listening to William talk about his stories as he was growing up, you could see that the stress was kind of pulling away. He was no longer thinking so much about having to get back to the office. he was just in the moment spending time with William, obviously reinstating the fact that we are William, and in the back of my mind I was like, oh, it's gonna hurt like hell when William passes, because we obviously know that his time is running out. And finally, at the end of the episode, as the Rebecca and Jack were settling down, and obviously Jack was even saying that he feels like he's losing his touch. It didn't work on Kate. That he could hear them downstairs chucking the wrapping paper at each other, just like they used to in their previous birthday. So it was actually really nice. And obviously the kids brought out the banner saying happy birthday to their father. And again, I just remembered at the end of the episode, like, oh yeah, it was Jack's birthday too. He spent the whole time making sure all his kids were happy, making sure that they were safe, making sure that everything was tip to top. And like I said, Jack would have done anything for his family, and making sure that their happiness always came before his. So it was a nice way to end the episode with them being able to live out another tradition where they'd be spending time together. And finally, I can't remember if you keep going. So we found out, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, that the woman that Kevin picked was Sophie, and I had a feeling it was this, and I can't believe he had disappeared for 12 years. So him and Sophie were married, and then she just disappeared. He just disappeared for 12 years. So now I'm wondering, which I did mention in the reaction, he had said to her that he wants his arm back. He feels like she was his arm essentially, and he'd lost it. So now I'm wondering if his inability to say settle down, or his string of girlfriends and all of the indecisiveness he has comes from that relationship that clearly didn't work out. It must have ended really badly by the sounds of it, because he wasn't in contact with Sophie for 12 years. Again, going back to how did if Kate and Sophie were still friends at this point, and if this affected that. And I really want to know the history there, because you can see the beginnings of it at the birthday party, and how she left in the birthday card saying love Sophie, and you could see the budding young romance. So I'm wondering, between the birthday to their marriage to now, sort of the events that had transpired across that timeline. But no, this was a really good episode. I love how, again, we're seeing certain things, and it's always revealing little bits and pieces. So now going forward, I wonder, now that Kate decided to set the fat camp, I'm hoping I don't think we got the name of the weird creepy guy, but I'm wondering now that she might start addressing, because I think it was the first time she thought of those, and obviously the first time that the death of her father came into the equation, in terms of how when she was trying to let go of stuff. So I'm wondering how now that's going to be affecting her weight loss going forward, her weight loss journey. I would like to also see where we are now with like William and Randall. I wonder how this is going to affect, like, and he was so focused on his work, job. He spent the day with William. I'm hoping that doesn't come back to, like a negative repercussion to say, I spent the time with you, I could have been doing this. I hope that's not the case. And obviously, finally, my thoughts on Kevin and Sophie, and seeing where we get from there. So that was it for this time. Thank you so much. If you did like my video, don't forget to like, give me a follow, and let me know your thoughts down in the comments below what you thought of this episode. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.